I'm open the two in Rish Tzadik Aleph. Let's finish yesterday's starting. So we should the sheet and then we'll do the Shulchan Aruch. Somehow yesterday we had 4. Someone took it, so I went in. Good morning. We're going back to the 2 Siman Reish Tzadik Aleph. Good morning.
Morning, Boker Tov.
Reish Tzadik Aleph. This is the Siman we looked yesterday. We're going to look at the Bet Yosef. This Siman happens to be a perfect example how the Bet Yosef is hold the Shulchan Aruch. Yeah. So let's look again. Let's look again at the language of the two. Reish Tzadik Aleph. Uzmana, look again, Eli, on page Kuf Tzadik on the bottom. Oh yeah, he has a different. For you, it's a different edition. Joseph, someone.
He doesn't have it out.
No. He definitely has a different edition.
I switched it. Okay, that's good. He has Reish Tzadik Aleph.
Yeah, everyone has. The question is, where is it in the page?
Oh.
Good, yeah. Uzmana here.
That's Manam Meshigias.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what halach are you looking at?
Right?
It's Bet, actually.
Bet?
Siman Reish Tzadik Aleph, it says Bet. See Uzmana.
Okay.
You realize that this Bet, in the original, in the original two, they didn't have the Bet. This print is a good print, so they put the Bet based on the Shulchan Aruch. See in a minute. Uzmana, when is this man for Seudah Shlishit? We saw it yesterday. משהגיע הזמן המנחה, דהיינו בשש שעות ומחצה ולמעלה ולא קודם. The earliest is half an hour after midday. כך, therefore, אותם שמפסיקים בסעודת שחרית, those who divide the breakfast meal or the lunch meal, לחלקה לשניים, they are dividing it to 2, ועדיין לא הגיע הזמן המנחה. But זמן מנחה is not there, אינם מקיימים מצוות Shalosh Seudot. We saw yesterday that the Magid Mishneh brings the Bahag. Remember, Bahag was before the Rambam. He says it's mutar always to do it, but we don't follow him. We follow the Rambam, the Rosh. אבל אם הגיע הזמן מנחה, יכולים לעשותם מיד אחר סעודת שחרית. We saw yesterday, וכן היה עושה אדוני אבי הראש. My father used to divide lunch to 2. The first half he began before midday, היה מברך ברכת המזון, והיה נוטל ידיים, washed his hands, ומברך עליהם, realize he's saying again נטילת ידיים, מברך המוציא. So Eli was asking yesterday about ברכה שאלה צריכה, we will see in a minute, והיה אומר שיותר טוב לעשות כן, again, since the lunch meal on Shabbat is a big meal, and on the winter short days will be full by Seudah Shlishit, you're better off dividing the meal for 2. In a minute you'll see why it's not so popular and why by many of us, Russellton says it doesn't, people, look in a minute. והיה אומר שיותר טוב לעשות כן, כיוון שנמשכה סעודת הבוקר עד אחר המנחה, since your lunch is extended till after מנחה, אם לא היה עושה מיד השלישי, if you would not eat the third meal right away, לא היה יכול לאכול אחר כך, אלא אכילה גסה. Okay. Now look at the Bet Yosef. Look at the top left, Joseph.
What's the dividing?
What does that mean? What you say? לא היה יכול לאכול אחר כך אלא אכילת גסה.
Oh, whatever. I'm asking you again, Lord, your wife's menu has, I give you my regular table, okay, my regular table. You make a douche. Remember, Ashkenazim always eat fish. You'll see in a minute. He himself says, try to eat fish. Every meal Chacham Bavadeh said. Anyway, by us, you wash, you make hamotzi, you eat fish, you eat salad. Then you add some, whatever hummus, whatever you have, okay? Then you have meat and chicken, and then you have chamin. I mean, by the end of the meal, you're complete no, but there's no. So he says, I mean, I'm talking about my table, so it's easy for me to say. If I eat the chali and I eat the fish and salad, right, and a piece of chicken, I can take a break and later I'll eat the chamin. So it's not a big deal. But
So now, Sudash she also now he has the time. Now it's time mecha. He has in front of him tefillah, and he has.
he doesn't have tefillah yet because he used to pray tefillah mincha b'tzleila.
He prays mecha.
Why?
Even now he has the time. We don't worry about it because it's mecha.
Exactly. Look at the Beit Yosef. The Beit Yosef. You see, Gimel v'chen haya oseh. Remember, this is the commentary of the Beit Yosef before he wrote the Shulchan Aruch. Yes, here.
Dalit or hey?
It begins with the word v'chen haya oseh.
Okay.
Remember, okay?
Yeah, good.
Says the Beit Yosef. Huzal means Rosh. Katav b'tshuva shekach ra'a rabotav no'agim. The Rosh didn't do it on his own. The Rosh says he saw his mentors doing it. וכן הוא נוהג אחריהם. Says the Rosh, ואף על פי שתוספות כתבו. He realized, שרי אומר, שאין להפסיק באמצע הסעודה משום איסור ברכה שאינה צריכה. Eli was asking, look, you're in the middle of the meal, you say ברכת המזון, 15 minutes later, you wash again, you say until that time again, hamotzi again, says this is bracha she'ena tzricha. Because you
But
really
you do need it. You do need it. You do need it for bracha for shalish for the third meal. So how,
listen what he answers. Even though the Ri is one of the Baalei HaTosafot, Tiretz Huzal, the Rosh answers, כיוון שהוא מפסיק לכבוד שבת, here's the key word, כיוון שהוא מפסיק לכבוד שבת, אין כאן משום מרבה בברכות שלא לצורך. Why am I doing it? Because if I'm not doing it later, I'm totally full, I wouldn't be able to eat Seudah Shlishit. So even though definitely on the record it is ברכה שאינה צריכה, I'm doing it לכבוד שבת. וכתב הוזל, remember this is Beit Yosef is telling us, בתשובה אחרת, listen to this now, שאין לדרוש כאן בציבור. This halacha that we are discussing for 2 days, that you can divide the meal, the rabbi should not say in public. Why? וכיוון שאם אוכל קודם חצות, אינו יכול להפסיק. Remember, this halacha is, I'm eating one half before midday, and the other half after. He says, if you teach it to the masses of people, they don't realize that this applies in the winter. In the summer, when you have 7 hours after midday, you have no problem at all, yes? People would get used to the idea that you break the meal for 2, and even in the summer, when the second half will be before midday. Look,
He's worried about that.
כיוון דאם אוכל, שאין לדרוש כן בציבור, וכיוון דאם אוכל קודם חצות, אינו יכול להפסיק, אין הציבור בקיאים בזה. Okay?
Like in the summer, what would be the earliest time?
The earliest time will be around 1:30.
Yes, it's like
Right?
But the point is that you could say Seudah Shlishit, you'd have an appetite by then. So
Right.
even if you eat early,
Right,
you don't
you
have
said
that
good, but
problem.
people want to do that early system,
In the summer,
and they're stuck.
I'm telling you, I'm doing it in the winter every Shabbat, but in the summer, of course, I don't do it. In the summer, I eat lunch at 11:30, and so actually at 6:30.
Did we come across anybody who cares whether we prayed Mincha or not before Seudah Shlishit?
Of course, we say, in a minute.
Okay.
וכתוב בתשבץ, Tashbetz is the student. This is fascinating. He's a student of the Maharami Rutenberg. Maharami Rutenberg was jailed because the Duke wanted a lot of money from the Jews, and the rabbi told the people, don't give him the money. So here, this fellow, the Tashbetz, used to stand every day outside of jail, and the rabbi used to teach him from jail. וכתב בתשבץ, שמהר"ם אליי בחורף, שהימים קצרים, היה עושה סעודה שלישית על השולחן מיד אחר ברכת המזון. If you are tuned to the language of the Beit Yosef, he's telling you, there is a machloket. I suggest it because the Tashbetz says, leave this open, leave it open, take the red book, just to see, Larry, leave it open, go set it to Shulchan Aruch, Siman Reish Tzadik Aleph. Sif Gimel, Reish Tzadik Aleph, Sif Gimel. Here, remember, this is now the Shulchan Aruch. You realize this is not the tour anymore. It says openly, Im nimsecha seudat haboker, if your meal extends, עד שהגיע הזמן המנחה יפסיק הסעודה ויברך ברכת המזון. סתיו, זה ברכת המזון ויטול ידיו ויברך המוצא ביסוד. ונכון הדבר, he is suggesting, do it. שאם לא היה עושה כן, מאחר שנמשכה סעודת הבוקר, since the middle of the morning extended, לא היה יכול לאכול אחר כך, אלא אכילה גסה. This is what he says. Right. Now, let's go back a minute to the tour.
When you after at Shalashut, it's after you eat, so you don't eat anything or drink anything till after Havdalah.
Yeah, why is that?
Why? That's why I'm asking.
This is every week. I say the daf from 3 to 4. Mincha is 4. When they finish Mincha, at least in the last 3 weeks, the sun is setting. I cannot eat Seudah Shlishit anymore. You understand? Some of them are Hasidim, they eat half an hour after. I don't. So I eat Seudah Shlishit about 2:30. I finish my meal about 12:15. By 2:30 or 2:15, whatever you wish.
Rabbi, could you just look at the Ramah on that?
Yeah.
He says now, when you can, pray for it.
אגב, מי שיודע שאפשר לאכול אחר שיתפלל מנחה עם הציבור, לא יעשה סעודה של אישית קודם מנחה. He says, if you know it, you can do it with mincha first, you are better off. And let's see what is Shulchan.
So basically saying the springtime close to the summer, you should not say the Seudah Shlishit before you pray.
Correct. Basically. Go back now to the tour. Go back to the big book.
But that's Ramah.
In a minute you'll see. Here.
But what is the reason that you don't drink until after Havdalah? We never.
Believe me, I know this halakha for many years. I'm sure if you look a lot, you'll find out what does it mean gozelet hametim. Look, go back to the tour.
Okay.
ורבנו תם הנהיג שלא לאכול בשבת מנחה לערבית. It says don't eat סעודה שלישית after מנחה. Make sure you eat before. Why? שולאיתא במדרש, כל השותה מים בין השמשות כאילו גוזל המתים, which we don't understand what it means. ועל כן אלא ינהיג לעשות סעודה שלישית קודם המנחה.
That's exact opposite of what we just read.
Right.
Wow.
Which means what you have to realize that the time is a heavy weight. This is not. So then says the two, והרמב"ם כתב, הולך לבית המדרש, after the meal, וקורא עד המנחה, ומתפלל מנחה, ואחר כך קובע סעודה שלישית. Here, this is an open מחלוקת רמב"ם רבנו תם, yes? Says the two, ונראה, הכי עדיף. It's better to do it. וכיוון שהגיע הזמן המנחה, אסור לאכול עד שיתפלל. says, how can you eat the second half of your meal before mincha? If it's time for mincha soon, you cannot eat a full meal.
Well, again, what's on mincha?
He's talking, obviously, he's talking here about mincha ketana. He's talking about the winter. Yeah? The time in the winter between Zman mincha.
So what really should do is you should eat the meal, take a break, daven mincha, then come back and eat the second meal.
This is what Jojo said yesterday. In so many communities, Ashkenazi.
I like it. I just.
Oh, right, Jojo, you're there. People pray on Shabbat only mincha gedolah. This way you solve all the problems. Yes.
What have you said?
On Shabbat, many people pray mincha gedolah. This way they have all the problems.
Doesn't some hold that mincha ketana is preferred time than mincha gedolah?
But here we have a conflict.
I know we have a contradiction, but it doesn't solve every.
It's always. You know, the Bet Yosef openly says, if you can pray mincha first. Now, the reason why the Sfaradim almost never do it is because of Pika Balahir. Go back to the Shulchan Aruch.
People wouldn't come to the
What? Eli is right. Joseph is right also. He's afraid people might not come to our meet. Go to the Shulchan Aruch again to Seif Bet. Shulchan Aruch Seif Bet. Zmana. Again, what is the Zman for Seudah Shlishit, Eli? כשיגיע זמן המנחה, דהיינו משש שעות ומחצה ולמעלה. ואם השעה קודם לכן לא קיים, now the רמה הגה, יש אומרים זה אסור לשתות מים בין מנחה למעריב בשבת. אז חוזרות הנשמות לגיהנום, ועל כן אין לאכול סעודה שלישית בין מנחה למעריב. This is the Rabbeinu Tam, yes? Don't eat סעודה שלישית after. אלא יאכל אותה קודם מנחה. ויש אומרים מילה, יותר טוב להתפלל מנחה קודם. Who is that? רמב"ם. וכן נוהגים לכתחילה, בכל מדינות אלו. ומכל מקום, okay, this Kabbalistic stuff, I don't know, but you see, okay.
But the problem is running into Ben Hashmashot. Is that what he's referring to? So is there enough time between the Chagdala and to eat before Ben Hashmashot?
No, but he assumes this is the Europe. Look at Mishnah Berurah 11, with Aleph. וכן נוהגים לכתחילה. סימן ריש צדיק א', ריש צדיק א', משנה ברורה י"א. ובמקום שקשה לו לקיים הסעודה לאחר המנחה, יוכל אפילו לכתחילה לקיים הסעודה קודם מנחה, אם הוא קודם זמן מנחה קטנה. You understand? He says if it's difficult like the winter, it's okay לכתחילה. This is what I do in the winter כמעט every Shabbat. Yes. I eat סעודה שלישית before מנחה because it does work for me. Time-wise. Now I'm going to read you from the Kaf HaChaim.
Here it says, "Ve'im kodem zman mecha ketana." I mean, you make sure you don't run into zman mecha, which is a good time to pray mecha. Then now you're not allowed to eat when you have the tefillah in front of you. I would assume, right?
Right. Let me read you here.
Which Seif?
You have access to Kaf HaChaim?
Yeah, it's right on the same page. Yeah.
Really?
They have the Be'er HaGolah, Eilat Eliyahu Rabbah, Vushay Srad, and Kaf HaChaim.
Whoa, which edition is that? Whoa.
No, it's on that I told you, your student, Hillel Novetsky, Ala Torah, is unbelievable.
This is Hillel
Yeah, I have
Novetsky
to
as
switch
well.
to that from I have to try switching.
On things about my pocket.
On the page.
Yeah.
Is it on the page? Yes, on the page. It's Shulchan Aruch and all the main commentaries.
Rabbi, they should give a class just how to learn on the computer, just to find things.
This fellow, Hillel Mobeski, was a student by Flatbush many years ago. He moved to Israel, and he does it with Chumash and
Everything. The site gets better and better all the time. It's fascinating. I mean, what do I know? But he's unbelievable. He's
he's a real scholar. He went to the bush, I think, for 3 or 4 years.
Larry, could you put the link on WhatsApp?
Yeah, just so you should know, Ala Torah, alhatorah.org. Eli, you'll love it. alhatorah.org. It's easy to navigate, and yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's really smartly done.
You look at I'm reading you now on the Kaf HaChaim Tov. You have Tov, yes, to Zion instead of Yuzayin, he writes Tov, yes?
I'll get to it. Zion. Yuzayin. Sham Bahaga.
Yes. Look at like the 4th line, Tishma. Vayem b'sefer Pri Eitz Chaim. Pri Eitz Chaim is the sefer of the Ari. Shar Chai. Remember, this is Reb Chaim Vital, what he heard from the Ari. Mori, the Ari, is Hirani Meod, warned me, שלא אשתה מים קודם הבדלה. ואמר לי, כי השותה מים בין השמשות של מוצאי שבת, ימות באזכרה. It's dangerous, it's dangerous. אבל, אם היה אוכל בשולחן בסעודה שלישית, ונמשכה סעודתו, so, but if you started סעודה שלישית on time, then it gets out. Then he says, יכול לשתות בתוך הסעודה, ואין בכך כלום, don't be, okay?
So when he doesn't want to drink water, he says?
If it's not part of Sudan,
He says, and let's say in the summer, you finish Seudah Shlishi, don't go and drink water after.
How about food?
No, so I say if the meal continues.
No, I made Birkat Amazon. Are you allowed to have food
No,
again?
no, if the sun was setting, you cannot have it. You can do it.
What do you mean you can't? I mean, he's saying that even if you extend it, if it's
I'm saying if you said
into
Birkat, Joseph was asking.
if you said
If you said Birkat Amazon, so that's the ship is over. Then after sunset, let's say 20 minutes, 15 minutes after sunset, this
No,
is
before
already
sunset, before we go out.
before sunset. You can do
see
whatever.
something that I like.
You can do whatever you
I
want.
thought after the Birkat Amazon in
No,
Shalosh, you cannot eat.
no. If it's before sunset,
But I thought Rabbi, I thought the day carries into the night. If I'm eating Seudah Shlishi, I go 3 hours into Advi time. I can't say Birkat Hamazon.
100% correct. If you started in time.
And
And
it
you
carries
say
through.
with
It
K,
carries
and
right
you
into
say
the
with
night.
K?
They would say, right?
You say, let's say, right. You say, let's say, because the meal began on Shabbat.
And what happens if the next day is Rosh Chodesh? You don't say Yalav Yava, no?
This is one of these, as always, it's a machlok.
Maybe continue
It's a
eating.
machlok. And normally you would say it would be a contradiction. If you say Ratzevach L'Tzeinu because you started with Shabbat, so how can you bring in now the new coming day? Look now. Go back to the Shulchan Aruch. But this is a classic example. It's a small topic, and if you really want to understand Shulchan Aruch, you have to start with the two. You know that all the Sephardic rabbis in the last 300 years, this is the way they did it. You learn two, bet yourself. Then you go to the Shulchan Aruch. Kemat everything in Rav Ovadia discusses your length. You begin with the two. His children do the same. Today you have a very comfortable condition. You see, look at this.
Do you fulfill? So now if you eat your second meal, I mean, if you ate the first meal of the day after Chatzot, then you haven't fulfilled it either. And then you eat Seudah Shlishi, you haven't fulfilled
So
it.
this is Seudah Shlishi.
Just the way you said you can't fulfill two of them before Mincha, you can't fulfill two of them after Mincha.
100%. It's exactly the same.
So if you go to somebody for, let's say you have lunch, let's say Chagah is
you have to wash.
12:15,
You have to wash it.
and you ate lunch at 12:30, and then you had Seudah Shlishi, you did not fulfill Seudah Shlishi.
I told you this is why the bar mitzvah of my son. We ate with a very big Sabbath. many, 30, 40 people ate matzah there, matzah one and a
I'm
half.
sure that happens very often.
Well, can you explain that? So if you pass the minhag,
Eli
time,
is saying that if you ate 2 meals in the morning before midday, you did not fulfill Sudat Rishit. Why? Because you have to eat Sudat Rishit after midday. Says Eli, the same as the opposite.
yeah.
If you go to a Sabbath, yes, until your family sits here, this coming Shabbat.
Well, if I
Can
go
you check when is midday today? That's
Check.
Can you check it?
Oh, so
No,
that means-
that's 1:30. That's 1:30. It's 10 to 1.
So if I eat late lunch,
Yeah, right.
and then I do
He says you did not fulfill Sudat Rishit. You didn't fill the Sudah of the morning.
I saw it's 12:08.
Here, 12:08 is midday.
So, see, what do we do, 15 minutes after?
That's a 20 minutes, make 20 minutes. Here, today at 12:28, you can pray already mincha, correct?
yeah.
Well,
Schmidt,
depends who
if
you look
they
at, 12:32,
they
right? Okay.
12:32 actually, it says.
So we eat
Yes.
lunch at
Okay,
12:30, 1 o'clock usually, so it's no good.
So he's telling you, start your meal before, stop in the middle, and continue.
But we get
But
lunch.
you know, your shul ends early, but you know, the west side, they're sleeping when you're already done, you come pork on. But what do you but what do you do when davening finishes it?
Eli is right. You come home, you wash, you eat a piece of pita or piece of bread,
Right.
Amazon, it's over.
Cover yourself.
It's exactly
You're
a
saying
7.
before the 12:30.
It's on, yes.
Yeah, I
So
didn't realize all
it's
this.
exactly it's a 7-minute ordeal.
I'm just saying.
It's 10 minutes.
I'm fine, I understand, I'm just pointing out that I never realized, I think a lot of people don't realize that,
I'm
you
telling you again why the rabbis are not doing this. The reality is you wouldn't change the habit of thousands of people.
Thousand people.
Everyone is used to pray late, make kiddush, have a class, until you start to move and still all the guests are coming. It's already past midday.
see, most people, the family's coming over, they don't eat lunch before 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. This is exactly the point. During the winter, I'm telling you again, you
I
sit
see
today.
it,
You sit
So
today.
Rabbi Prague, Rabbi Prague, on a given Shabbat morning, you wake up, and what do? You don't eat breakfast because you go to shul, or do you eat coffee?
Listen good. My advantage is the sun is not rising till about 7. So when I'm up at 5:15, I can eat whatever I want. You understand?
Okay, so you do it like a tanit,
I
basically.
eat food. I eat food anyway. Food and yogurt. This is it.
Doesn't the Ashkenaz have a kiddush though, that they sometimes.
Not
between-
everybody. Those who do it make sure.
Do they
say-
can eat
On
bread
your
there?
breakfast, you would
Before
say
we stop.
kiddush or no?
No,
Because it's from
that's-
connected from the
Oh,
90s.
so that's that whole.
Of kiddush begins after shachrit.
Right, but so that's not considered a meal.
It's not
for
the
one of
meal. It's not the
three-
meal. No, I'm only telling you why I'm allowed to do it.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
So that's what. So that's why some people don't even put milk in their coffee, whether you're allowed to. Oh my God, it's so
Coffee.
complicated.
Everyone agrees that you can have coffee before you go to shul.
Even with milk.
Of kiddush,
Even some people that are weak, Rabbi, you had a class on this. Rabbi Chacham Baruch, I think, said it. Some people that are weak could have a little orange juice, a cack, if they're weak and they need it for their whatever they need it for.
the word weak is an interesting word. You understand what? Oh, whatever, yes.
You got the whole issue.
The Hasidim are very lenient on that. Many Hasidim have a piece of cake before they go to shul Shabbat morning because they finish really late. So
Rabbi, I told you, Larry, listen to this one. When I go to China and I pray with the Chabad, they don't pray till maybe 10 o'clock. I see they're sitting having coffee, cake. Guys, let's pray already.
The main mission of Chabad is to make sure that people come to shul. They're very smart. So you know halakha, most people don't know. So they say, come and have coffee.
Right.
And then also some of them believe that you don't daven until you learn. So they learn before they daven. There's all
not Gemara, you realize. Chumash, Tehillim, Tanya. Okay. Seif.
So Rabbi, one
that should be my biggest sorrow.
my family at 1:30. Then I don't have to really force myself or Shalom to eat bread because it's
Right,
useless.
there's no point.
There's no point.
No, but then you only had 2 sildot.
Then but you're saying anyway, you cannot eat it.
At that point, I'm
בסעודה ותהיה בסעודה שלישית.
He didn't fulfill the
The
whole.
best is if you come home, you see, like, he's going to do this Shabbat, you watch.
Yes,
You have a
you are
pita.
forcing yourself for Seudah Shlishi. It's not a
Yeah, but
mitzvah anyway.
actually, I'm really gonna
That's on the
inspect
other
and see
hand.
how
You
many.
force yourself earlier.
I understand, but
That's,
Force your
so
family
you're
to
saying-
start early.
Alright, so see,
Rabbi, could you clear up just the mincha issue bothered me? If I pray early,
I have to look at the bag and measure it now. I have to do the math.
I think that every full pita is
No, but
okay.
if you're not-
I don't know.
No, I
you
feel like half, 3/4. Okay.
Okay, you have to look at
I have to
the-
look at the
you
bag.
have to look at
I
the
will. I will.
Go now to Seife. Go to Seife. Now,
why'd you say kabetza? Wait, I'm.
no, the Shulchan Aruch says every meal on Shabbat you have to eat kabetza bread.
Oh, I thought.
He says if you
If you
really
cannot,
can,
if you can't, you can have a
he
kazan.
says
Look now in Seife.
if you're a
Sarich.
normal person.
Look in Seife. צריך לעשותה בפת, סעודה שלישית should be, right? Should contain bread. ויש אומרים, you see the שולחן ערוך, he left it to the end. ויש אומרים שיכול לעשותה בכל מאכל העשוי מאחד מחמשת מיני דגן. Some say, like, this might be good for you. If you start to eat one this Shabbat, for סעודה שלישית, take a piece of cake, that's it. You see, ויש אומרים שיכול לעשותה בכל מאכל העשוי מאחד מחמשת מיני דגן. ויש אומרים שיכול לעשותה בדברים שמלפתים בהם את הפת. Some say, piece of fish, a piece of meat, אבל לא בפירות. ויש אומרים זה אפילו בפירות. Here, Joseph.
old opinion, we have old
No,
opinion.
no. It's giving you an order. Because if the best is if you cannot have bread because you're going to full of piece of cake. If not, eat something major like fish or meat, which we never eat meat so late. If not, fruit. וסברה ראשונה עיקר, he says he's repeating. Bread is the bed, שצריך לעשותה בפת, אלא אם כן, unless you are really full, okay? או במקום שיהיה אפשר לו לאכול פת, כגון בערב פסח שחל להיות בשבת. I told you yes. ערב פסח בשבת, so we look at סעיף ו', נשים.
For 1 second, we started off 2 days ago, whenever, because it said ichlu hayom, ichlu hayom, ichlu hayom, hayom, whatever, 3 times. Does that make this a deoraisa? And is that why Shalish?
Eli was asking him yesterday, the day before. Some Rishonim say it's deoraita, most say it's only the Rabbanan. Okay?
How did it get so lost? And
Would have to go back.
How did he get? Because the pressures of life.
Then because
See,
of
all the
Isaiah,
problem that they have here with people around the table, the Hasidim have the same. Because we get up late,
have to-
come home from shul late, you have a Sabbath, you have a Kiddush, till the family comes together. Yes?
I don't know. So the thing I'm going to ask the rabbi is why do we have, if we have Hayom 3 times, why do we have a leniency on the 3rd one?
Because there's a suffix if it's.
Okay, so he's asking,
that's what a question.
we have a leniency on the 3rd one, so I'll show you one here.
What type of leniency? What leniency?
Yes,
is
So
it?
he's asking, why is the Shulchan Aruch suddenly telling me you can have cake, you can have an egg?
Yeah, that's what's driving it. Thank you, Eli.
Well, could you flip it, Rabbi? Like, could you have the cake on the second and not?
No, everyone agrees you must have bread. This is part of his
You
group.
have to have bread on the first 2.
Yes, look a
That's why-
second, why, but
That's why we don't go back on the 3rd
Joseph,
one.
this
because
is this
if you
week's
get me to
part.
say,
this is this week's
in
parasha.
Sudash, you don't go back.
This is
because
this
of the
week's
leniency.
parasha. You listen carefully.
That we're not
Look
learning
at the
from
2
Yom
on the
Yom.
next page.
Which about
Ve'ita b'Yerushalmi, listen carefully.
Where are you reading now?
I'm reading now the 2, Siman Reish Tzadik Aleph, about 6 lines before Hey, before it
Okay.
says Hey. Ve'ita b'Yerushalmi v'Mechilta. Remember, this is double. Mechilta is Midrash Halacha, Yerushalmi. ובסעודה שלישית צריך לפחות, at least, כיכר אחד שלם. Why? You listen good to the calculation now, please listen good. ביום שישי, we are reading this week's parasha, ירד double, 2 עומרים, correct? Remember, every day you have עומר,
Right.
Now, listen carefully. ומכל עומר עשו שתי כיכרות. The measurement of Omer, you have 2 loaves of bread.
What
So you have-
kazai is that?
We're talking about bread. Every meal is a kibbutza. This is the answer to your question, and nothing to do with our topic. So you have now on Friday 4 pitas, let's say, okay? Now he says like this. אכל, הרי 4 לשני אומרים. אכל אחד בערב שבת, you have to eat Friday a meal. So you ate 1. How many loaves of bread are you left with? 3. Correct? You had 4. You had 3. ואחד בליל שבת, ואחד בבוקר.
ליל שבת is when?
הרי Friday night. ליל שבת. Friday night. So you had 4, yes?
Yeah.
You ate 1 for Friday.
Friday morning.
breakfast.
Brunch.
Why are we counting this for
That would
Shabbat?
be good, but then what happened to Lechem Mishnah?
I want to show you why in Seudah Shlishit, even though Friday night and Shabbat morning, I need 2 chalis, 2 pita. Seudah Shlishit said minimum of 1. It happens sometimes, yes? So he's making your cheshbon. I had 4. I ate 1, I'm left with 3. 1 Friday night, 2 Shabbat morning because I have 2. What was left with Seudah Shlishit? 1.
So you don't have to have 2 pita bread for
And
Shabbat?
he says, of course you
Or so you
have
have
to.
eat them both.
He says, of course you have to. Shulchan Aruch openly says you have to. He's just showing you, but at least have 1.
Well, we consumed it. I started with 4. I have 1 left.
And he's telling you what they had. He's telling you.
2 ounces.
Don't forget, they didn't have chiffon bakery there probably. It wasn't so easy to get challahs. Everybody had 14 challahs on their table.
Okay, here Joseph, just for you, it says openly. He says by every meal, man and woman. Okay. The difference always, you see, it's interesting. If I have guests, girls that went to Bet Yaakov will come to eat Seudah Shlishit, they say, can I have a lechem mishneh? They eat themselves. Shulchan Aruch says openly. Women are obligated the same, and women are obligated in lechem mishneh. Okay? So you wanted to know why is the leniency here? Because if you ate too much in the morning, you're left without bread anyway, yes?
Right, but it's because, for instance, I'll pray on Shabbat morning, first minyan.
Yes.
So they serve a breakfast, they don't serve bread. I actually see some people bring bread there.
This is the reason, because they know that they eat lunch late.
So yeah, but if they serve breakfast with mezonot, so that's not counted as a meal.
No, definitely not.
So there's a few people there that actually bring
If you
hamotzi.
no, so if you smart, tell them to bring pita in this way. Anyone that
So this way, if they use that breakfast as a meal, they
this
should
is
be doing
exactly
it.
what they do, because they eat lunch much later.
Yeah, I see one person brings
He knows
hamotzi.
he learned this siman well, and he knows, especially in the winter.
Yeah, I'm talking now. The
In the
winter,
winter,
and he says,
this
"Oh, I
is
have
the-
lunch at 1 o'clock," and I.
Joseph here.
He says,
He
"This
has
way
a
I have
kiddush.
Seudah Shlishit."
He finishes Shachrit 8:30. You have kiddush, he washes, makes a motzi, the guy when he finishes with the meal.
Right.
Then he eats lunch. One is like this, like this is
Right.
exactly
That's the perfect way to do it, actually.
In the wrong way, people told him, "Well, I'm doing it too. I'm eating last night. I'm having mezonot, and then I'm having hamotzi."
Okay, this
for
is
lunch."
why.
So that's not correct.
Of course not.
Okay, it's good.
It's not the only opinion. There's no other opinion.
If you want Joseph, we have all the opinions.
Because if it was like that, we would never.
But Joseph, this is why we learn. If you want to get it's openly.
It would be like very big mistake to have lunch at 1:30 then. With your family.
Everyone agrees with that.
I never heard. I mean, like, why? Never.
This is why we were learning it this week.
It's interesting that Nashim Machayavot. I never saw too many Nashim by Shalashudas.
You are right, unfortunately, but I'm telling you again, when I have guests, I always know the ladies that come, can I have 2 chalis and this? I know which schools they went to. I mean, it's,
So we should tell the people to come at
Yeah,
12:30 and earlier.
this
Well, you
is
have to
right.
watch the
If you
clock.
can.
They'll never
You
show.
can't
But
wait.
Joseph,
They never show.
Joseph, this is the right way to do that.
We
And you
try.
plus just wash, and eat piece of challah, finish. It's not, we're not finishing the meal before midday. Wash, make a douche, and wash and eat two
But
slices
Rabbi Prague,
of pita on your.
but Rabbi Prague, that defeats the whole purpose.
Oh, it doesn't matter when you take Birkat Hamazon, when you could just say Hamotzi before
Correct,
Chatzot.
exactly.
But Rabbi Prague,
But you still have to have the third meal later.
No, right,
I'm saying
but
that-
Joseph is like, Joseph says,
32,
Oh, yeah,
12:18, you don't have to, you know.
in
because
the
you're
winter,
saying-
like 7 weeks in the winter, we have a problem.
So
That
in
now
a way-
the days becoming longer,
So
much
in a
longer.
way, if you don't impose to your family to come on time, you are really making them not count the Seulah Shelishi as a meal.
No, right, and basically you're making them losing the main
Yeah.
mitzvah of eating Seudat
it
Shabbat.
sounds like, funny, it sounds like it's Filat Mariv is Rishut. It sounds like the Shalashut is. In other words, it's so important to have 3 meals, yet you could wash to eat a piece of bread. I mean, you're missing the point of what Oneg Shabbat
Yeah.
really is. We lose
You
sight
make
of it.
the Raya Halacha correct, but as Joseph says, you have to deal, it's not
Correct. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it seems.
about time. But this is life, so those who know Halacha, you can see those who know Halacha, among Chassidim, do exactly what it is. There's no, because if you have Lagash, you want to eat it, start them in
Eating
before
Seulah
midday.
Shelishi.
Just tell your wife, you invite guests. And as Eli says, make sure you do it before Shabbat. When is midday? Just make it.
12:30.
I don't,
Well,
I would
not
just eat,
1:30,
I would
12:30,
just eat the bread before, I would just eat the
12:30.
bread before, and don't bother with the fighting the guests and getting into trouble.
Okay, then.
Because then the guests come late, and then you're gonna be, you know.
No, he said, my wife says, you can't start before the guests.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have an obligation to teach to
I
your
know,
To your
people also.
remember, if you have a Shabbat with your daughters and your son, this is when you do it. If you have others, as Eli says, it becomes too sensitive. He said, please, we're washing at 12:15. Yeah, look at it.
Wow.
Do you know how to find out when is midday? I mean, which side?
No, it's,
Just
12:08, 1 hour, the Sharet Zion sign has it.
Sharet Zion has it. Yeah.
Well,
Sharet Zion app.
No, never, you can't, you gotta come, walk.
No,
say,
12:08 is
Right.
midday.
This is the Sharet Zion.
Oh, yeah, it is. Later Shema Magen Avraham, later Shema Gerara, Chatzot, here they tell you, 12:08, earliest Mincha, every
Right,
day.
and you know where it says the earliest to flee,
So
that's
what
the one
time
we
is
don't
it?
pay attention
Earliest
to.
Mincha is today. Earliest Mincha is 12:32 today. So that's
Right.
it. Today Shabbat. Today Shabbat. Have a nice day. Tomorrow, it's Tu B'Shvat. We'll probably talk about the halachot of Ma'asrot.
Rabbi,
well, we should talk today, so we can.
Larry,
have a
since
nice-
we're talking about food, is Uri open yet? Have you been there on the Upper East Side?
To where?
Uri's.
I didn't hear about Uri's. The one they're talking about now, everybody's talking about is this place called Malka. They're all talking about.
Uri's,
it's by-
Uri's open on like there's 68th and 3rd, a huge store. They're having some issues with the permits, I think, about a month ago, so they may have opened already. Beautiful new store
But
there.
Eli, you have to remember, going to the east side, I can go to Brooklyn almost. I only go 2,000 feet in one direction, even on the weekdays, Eli.
He lives always on the west side highway.
Yeah, you know what you might have, yeah, but you have to make sure you say above 60th, otherwise you're gonna have to pay a toll soon.
Yeah, I'm not. I go by subway, Eli. I'm not going for any tolls. That's for people like Mal. No, he pays the toll, Mal.
What's that, Larry?
No, I'm just saying, you're special, Mal. Are you enjoying Mal a little bit?
Yeah. He enjoys it very much. You went to pray.
I know he's davening. He's
But
okay.
we're
Just have a
starting
good
right
day.
now. All the best, guys.
And
Have a good day.
Now.
Thank you so much.
the big store opens and it's a big deal, shows you this is exactly the places we have. Food becomes a very big part of our
It is.
not when you come to our age.
That's the truth. Okay. Eli, I posted.